Hello, thank you for coming around to see this video. Today I intend to be showing you on behalf of MOGTECH software this very application that we've launched. Okay, is a Jamb application, a computer-based test application that helps students improve their skills in writing computer-based tests. Okay, so right now I'm going to run the program and show you how it works. The program can be downloaded from www.mogtechsoftworks.blog. Sorry, www.mogtechsoftworks.wordpress.com. Okay, as you will find in the link below this video. Alright, so if we have the application open like this, we can do just few things. Okay, we can decide to write exam, and we can decide to change answer, we can decide to change color, we can decide to read. Okay, I think this is the very best feature that this application has, this read mode and change answer. Okay, this is a feature that it has here that differs it from other computer-based test applications out there, and bet me you are going to like it. Okay, but before I go in here, let's take a look at some things up here. Okay, if you click on about, you will definitely see about the software. Is a computer-based test application meant to improve a student's ability to write a computer-based test and as well help the user in knowledge acquisition. Okay, and the rest of it. Now, should you need help on how to operate the application, you can as well click here. Notice that it says to use this application, hover your mouse over objects to get instruction on what action to take. Alright, then for further inquiries, please contact us. mogtechsoftware@gmail.com. Alright, so I'm going to OK this. Notice that for us to use this very application, when we place our mouse on top of anything, it says something to us, and here it says click to start exam. So if I click here now to start this exam, notice that I have something, and it's like asking me to select some subjects I want to write. Asking me to select subjects I want to write. I have option of selecting up to 4 different subjects. Like here, I decide to choose this very account. Here, I can decide to choose biology. While here, I can decide to choose commerce. Here, I can decide to choose, say, geography. Okay, or maybe let me make one of them English. And what am I going to make English? Let me change account to English. Okay, just feel free to switch between any of them. Then here we are going to choose our year. For instance, we want to work with the year 2007. Okay, and now if I want to go back, I can click back, but I want to start the exam. Okay, once I click start, the question will try to connect and fetch some questions for us. Okay, and as soon as that is done, we'll be okay to continue. Alright, yeah, I think that's cool. So if you look now, you will see the very questions that we loaded in the other day we are loaded. Okay, like for instance, we first choose English 2007, followed by commerce, biology, and geography. Now you can click on any of them to start the exam. You can click on commerce, you can click on, notice that your time has started counting, and you have 3 hours 30 minutes plus additional 60 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to click on English to start. Notice that we already have the English. It says English 2007. Clicking on this button will take you back so that you can still start answering another question, and you can as well keep switching in between them. Your answers are recorded. Okay, so for instance, if here now I want to answer this question, it says consumers require protection against exploitation to ensure First one says availability of products, this. Take for instance, this is the answer. If I click on this, it marks it for me. I can go on clicking questions, clicking the next question, marking the answers, and I can continue up to the last. Okay, I can again switch to the text. Notice that my answers were recorded. Okay, that's very cool. Now on going back, I can still go to another subject, say English. Notice that this English uses passages. Okay, so if we decide to click on passage 1, it's going to fetch the passages for us, and it says press any key to exit. So you can read up the passage. After reading it, on pressing any key or on clicking outside, it exits. Okay, so the same thing, we can fetch other passages, we can fetch every other passages just like that. So far as the subject has a passage, it's going to show up. Okay, now I think that's okay. Then we can as well go for biology. We can keep clicking next question, next question, next question, and notice that when we encounter a picture, the picture shows up, and when we go past the picture disappears. Now I'm clicking back, the picture appears. Okay, so if I move my mouse on top of it, it becomes bigger. For subjects like geography, you might want the picture, like say map, to get bigger again. On clicking on the picture, it gets more bigger. That's okay. So just like that, at the end of the day, you can decide to submit, you can switch back. Okay, and if you submit, it's going to mark for you. If you exit, it asks you, are you sure you want to? Yes, you want to exit. Okay, okay, then go back. Now let's take a look at this read mode. On clicking read mode, you have the option of reading just only one subject. Okay, so we can only read one subject, say account 2006. If I start, notice that I have only account 2006. If I start, it shows up. Okay, departmentalization of accounts is useful because it shows the dash. Notice that the question with the answer appears in another column, and here now it says you don't have to take this. The answer is already marked in another column. So simple. Okay, now we can as well change the colors with which our answers are written, and that's okay. So we can as well close it. You can exit. You can't submit because you didn't write any exam. That's okay. Then other things we might be able to do is that we can change answers. If you have a very question that you feel you don't like the answer, you feel that our answer is not correct, okay, you want to correct the answer or the question, just fill in the details and load the question, is going to appear. Here I have a problem with this very version. It has been modified, but this is not the very version. Okay, so I can exit and I can change the color of the application by clicking here, maybe picking a better color, a color that I feel is okay for the application. These are the major few interesting aspects of the application. Okay, another thing is, take for instance, if you feel that you've made some mistake to this very application, you no longer like the way it looks, maybe because of the changes you've made, you mistakenly made some changes to the database, and you want to restore everything, you want to restore all questions to be as it is, you can as well go to tools here and click on reset. Now on clicking reset, it's going to ask you to enter your password. It assumes that you already have a password. The default password is nothing, Okay, so now I don't have a password. If I click on OK, it's going to ask me, am I sure I want to reset the application? Then it goes on. Okay, so but right now I don't even want to. It says I can't do this. Normally you can't reset the application unless you quit the application and open it up again. So if you opened it for the first time without clicking any of these buttons, you can go ahead to reset the application. That's okay. The other thing here is security. If you want to set password for the application, you can use this security so that nobody else can access it apart from you. So if I set any security here, it's going to apply. Like I can say, give me a security, Chris, give me password 1234, give me another password 1234. If I save this, it's going to, it says created, and the password will just be here. We can now close this. Notice that next time, if you want to, for instance, if I want to reset this application, if I leave the password empty again, it's going to tell me that my password is wrong. If I continue that, it will return a wrong password. So just like that. Now there are some other things I want to show you here, like precisely this change answer. I'll be showing you something right there. Okay, so another thing you might need to know is that sometimes, especially if you've not registered, you notice that this very dialog will always appear. Okay, so it says you have exceeded the maximum free trial chance. Please send an email with the heading CBT to MOGTECHsoftware@gmail.com for payment instruction. Okay, so if you just click OK, then you will see something here, right? You will see something here. Then it says that your computer's generated ID is this. Now all you need is to copy this computer's generated ID and send it. All you need is to send it to us through that very email provided. Okay, so if you have paid, the payment is 1,000 naira only. Okay, and if you have paid, you can simply click on this button, okay, to enter the confirmation code that you received from us. But if you have not paid, then you have to click here to get instructions on payment again. Okay, so I'm clicking here. Now it says I should enter the code I have. So if I enter nonsense, it's not going to work. It says please enter the code you received after payment. If you have not paid, please send message to MOGTECHsoftware@gmail.com to get payment instructions. Then you have to use this code. You have to send this code with your payment details after you've paid to us. Okay, so if I click OK, notice that it says invalid code entered. Contact MOGTECHsoftware@gmail.com for payment details, or call this number now, 0816-027-4007. Okay, and that is it. So it won't grant us access until we have registered, and what causes it is this very button here. So once we register, this very button will become disabled. So that's the much I want to show you, and thanks for coming around. Okay.